Now, thank you so much, Alyssa. Yes, so we are recording this, and these recordings, this is the last of 3 sessions that we offered, and we will put the recordings in our ICOE webpage. It takes a while to process the recordings, but they'll be in there a few days afterwards if you want to, kind of watch it and skip the parts that maybe you weren't quite sure of this time. Yes, thank you, Alyssa. So the first thing I want to show you guys is you all have a Zoom account, right? And when you go to your account page, this is what you might see, right? You'll see, here's my name. So when I mute my video, this is the picture that comes up. You can put a picture there. It's real simple, real easy. This is just the information about my account. It says I can host up to 300 people, things like that. So that's cool, right? When I click on meetings, it'll show me all my meetings I have upcoming. It'll show all the previous meetings that I had. It just keeps a track of everything. But what's really cool is when I schedule a meeting. And this is key even for breakouts. So when I click on schedule a meeting, right, I can put my topic or title in there. I can put my date, the time, how long it's going to be. If it's a recurring meeting, and for teachers, that may be you, right? You may have that same Zoom meeting every day at the same time. You can do a recurring meeting, let's say every day until September 8th. And there's 7 occurrences. You can move up the end date as far as the middle of October. And so this is cool if you know you're going to have a recurring Zoom meeting and you don't want to have them to have a different passcode or a different link every time. So this will repeat that same link and the same passcode so that the kids are, getting in the swing of things and they don't have to change things up all the time. So that's the recurring meeting. So for this, the one that you joined, I put a passcode, and usually if it's a meeting that is held outside of ICOE, I will put a passcode there, right? You can, if you don't want a passcode, you can click it off. It randomly generates a passcode. I put you guys in a waiting room, and maybe for you and your students, you don't feel that's right. You can click off the waiting room. It's totally up to you. Definitely, I'm the only one that can videotape. I would not turn that off and have anyone be able to videotape, especially if you're a teacher with kids, right? Let me just get that person in. Sorry. And then there's some other meeting options right here where I can, if I want my students to join before me, which probably isn't a good idea, I could click on that. I want the kids to be muted. I can also pre-assign breakout rooms. This is really cool. So if I know let's say I'm a self-contained teacher and I got 30 kids, right? I can create rooms for my students, and all I have to do is click on, so if I click on this, breakout room assignment, I can create up to 50 rooms for up to 200 participants. On my account, I can do that. So let's start with breakout room 1. And all I have to do is add the emails of the students. So let's say Kiana is one of my students, right? She's going to be in breakout room number 1. Maybe I even have, no, I don't have Alyssa in there, but maybe I have Erica Marquecho, and she's going to be in my breakout room. Maybe I put Anna Murphy in there, and she's in my breakout room. And let's say, breakout room 2, I want to add 3 more kids, and so on and so forth. And then I can, if I want to change my mind, I can move them to a different breakout room. I can remove them. And then once I have my breakout rooms all set, I just click on save. And now my breakout rooms are preset and ready to go before the meeting even starts. What I can also do, which is really cool, to make it even easier, is I can import from what's called a comma separated value file. It's like an Excel. So let me show you what I did for this training. These are all you guys, right, in an Excel spreadsheet. And all I have is 2 columns. One is pre-assigned. I know it may be hard to see. I'll expand it. is I pre-assigned the room and I put 4 people in room 1, 4 people in room 2. And all I had to do is put your emails on there. And you guys are already now in breakout rooms. After I go to browse and I find that file, which is up here, and then I click on open, and boom, I have 15 breakout rooms all set up with either 4 or 3 people.
Hey, John.
Yes, thank you.
Someone has a question. They say they can't find that option, the meeting options. Where would they find that?
So the meeting options that are up here in the upper left-hand corner, you have to go to your Zoom account page. And then this is like your home page right here. And everything should be off to the left right here. All the main links that you want to go to should be off to the left right here. And then when you click on meetings, you should be able to see this page. And then you can also, since this is already a meeting that's scheduled, I can go back here and I can click on schedule a meeting. But
I think they were asking for the breakout rooms option.
Oh, the breakout rooms option.
Yeah, and then what happens if you don't have the premium version?
Say that again, that second question, Alyssa.
If they don't have the premium version of Zoom, is it different?
So even breakout rooms come with any version that you have. So breakout rooms will come with the free version, with the premium version. So breakout rooms is kind of like the universal piece of Zoom. So let me go back to this. So again, if I go to, let's say I go to a meeting that I've already started, or I'm not started, but already set up, and I come over here and click edit that meeting. This is where I can go down and click on, and once you click on breakout room pre-assign, then you can pre-assign those breakout rooms. So you have to go into the meeting and click on edit for an already scheduled meeting, right? Or if you want to, again, schedule a meeting, come down here and it should give you that breakout room pre-assign, and you can do, again, create rooms or import CSV. So I do know for a fact that breakout rooms are in all the accounts.
So even if you have the basic account, they have that option?
Yes, the breakout room should be in every single account.
And then we have a question. Can you randomly assign participants?
Yes, so let me show you how that works. So you guys can still see all my Zoom buttons down here, correct? So now the main one is, if I'm breakout rooms, this is the one. So as a host, I am the only one that can assign breakout rooms. So Alyssa's a co-host, but she doesn't have this button right now. The only way she would see that is if I turn the host over to her. So when I click on that link, you guys can see, right? I have 15 pre-assigned breakout rooms. But if I want to switch them up, I click on recreate. So let me go back again. So I click on breakout rooms, and let's say, you know what, I don't want to use these rooms. So I click on this, the caret of recreate, and I recreate all rooms, and I get this option. I can either automatically, which is, then it's random. Then I'm going to put 56 participants into 2 rooms, which I wouldn't do 2 rooms. Okay. I'm going to increase the number of rooms, which as you saw, I can go up to 50, and I'm going to go all the way till I get about 2 to 3 participants per room. So I'm going to assign 56 participants into 23 rooms. And then when I click on recreate rooms, watch what happens. So now all those rooms have been kind of reassigned with all your names. And then once I click on open rooms, then boom, you guys are going to be sent to your breakout rooms. There
Josh,
are, yes, go ahead.
if they have the basic Zoom account, would they have the option of creating the breakout room before the meeting? Is that
Yes, they should. They should have that option that says pre-assigned breakout rooms.
okay? And then if it's a recurring meeting, do they have to edit every time?
No, if it's a recurring meeting and you pre-assign the breakout rooms, those breakout rooms will stay the same for every meeting. We had that question the last meeting because someone was saying, well, I have my kids, they're doing a project right now. And the project's lasting about a month. And I have the same 4 kids working on the project. She goes, this is really cool because now I can keep those same breakout rooms for a while. But then after that project's done, I know I can recreate the breakout rooms using that CSV file or just recreate them by hand. And I can put the kids in different breakout rooms. So yes, that recurring meeting, everything from that meeting is saved and goes on to the next meeting. So if you have breakout rooms in there, they'll repeat themselves.
And could you show us how to make someone a co-host, please?
Yes. So I saw one, can I increase the size? I can't increase the size of this because all it does is really do that. So these are limited. I really apologize for that. These little squares that pop up. Okay. So let me just finish this thought and I'll go. So another option I have. So I don't know if you guys have ever been in a training where I know we have, where I click on open rooms and there's always those 2 or 3 participants that just don't click on that breakout room piece. If you want them to go automatically, I click on options and I click up here. That moves all participants in the breakout rooms automatically. So they don't even have to look for a button. They don't have to click, yes, I want to go. Boom, it automatically takes them. Key feature, especially if you're going to try it with maybe the 3 through 5 group, the younger kids, right? So that's an option. I can allow participants to return to the main session anytime. If I put kids in breakout rooms, but I hang out in the main room and there's a kid that maybe wants to come back and talk to me, then I would click on this and they would come back to the main session if I want that to happen. If not, then one thing that you guys probably know that I can join as a host, I can join any breakout room that I want and pop in. I'll show you that in a little bit. If I want to, let's say I say, okay, you're going to go in breakout rooms for 15 minutes. Then I click on breakout rooms and I can put on 15 minutes here. I don't have to worry about a timer. That's my big deal is I lose track of time. And next thing you know, they've been in there for half an hour and I said 15 minutes. So I can put like an internal timer here. I can change the time if I want, and it'll notify me when the time is up. And so what you won't see is when I open all the rooms, this turns into a red button that says close all rooms. And when I close all rooms, because I've clicked this, it gives people in the rooms 60 seconds to finish up their conversations before they automatically come back to the main room. And you can make it, 30 seconds, 15 seconds, however you want. So you can give kids some time rather than automatically, boom, all of a sudden the breakout room's ended. They'll get a little message in the breakout room, and I'll show you when you guys go, that says, 30 seconds left or 60 seconds left. And it counts down and it stays there until literally it goes to 0. So kids can, finish up their conversations and talk. So if, let's say, during the course of a meeting, I have 5 people join, I can add another room. And then I can assign people to that breakout room. But right now, all participants have assigned to breakout rooms. So here you guys all are right now. If I want to, let's say, I want to move Janeth to breakout room 2, I'm going to click on move Janeth. And I'm going to click on breakout room 2. And boom, now she's in breakout room 2. And let's say I want to move Miss Carrillo to breakout room 1. I can move her to breakout room 1. So you can move people to different breakout rooms before you send them. You can exchange them with somebody else. So you have again, I've already said this, as the host of a Zoom meeting, you have a lot of power. You have a lot of power in your hands. You can even, when they're in breakout rooms, you can move them. We had to do that the other day because we did a random breakout room, but one breakout room only had one person in it. So she hit the help button and I just moved her to another room. So even when they're in breakout rooms, you can move them to other rooms. So I'm going to pause right now and see if there's any questions, Alyssa, or if any of you guys want to unmute yourself and ask questions about at least kind of getting a pre-assigned breakout room, putting kids in the breakout rooms during the meeting randomly, if you'd like.
We have another question.
Yes.
Someone is having issues on their basic Zoom account. They don't see the option when they schedule a meeting for the breakout rooms.
Okay. So the person that's having that issue, if you could do me a favor, put your email in the chat and I will look into it and I'll get back to you on that. If you could, I will definitely look into that and get back to you and make sure that we get that. If it's an issue, we get it resolved, or maybe, you know what, basics don't have it. I'm thinking they do, but maybe I'm wrong. So, but we can figure that out.
John, on that passcode, I had a question. Is that the same number that we used to log into your class this time? Or is it what is that passcode for if it's different?
So are you talking about when we went to set up the class?
Yeah, when we logged on to the Zoom for your session, sometimes it'll ask us, maybe I don't remember if for yours it did, but it'll ask us for a code. Is that the code or is that passcode for something else?
This is for a different yeah, you're right. I set it up so that when you logged into this meeting that you had to put a passcode in.
Okay.
It's another layer of protection. You guys may have heard of Zoom bombing. You definitely don't want to get Zoom bombed in one of your meetings. So that passcode is another layer of protection that the kids have to have that passcode, and you did too to log on. So what mine is set up to do is every time I have a meeting, if I put a passcode, it just generates another random passcode for the next meeting.
Okay.
But if you have a recurring meeting, right? If I click on recurring, then that passcode is going to be the same for all those meetings.
Okay.
So if I know I'm going to meet with my kids every day, same time for 5 days a week, then I'm just going to, it's going to be the same password, recurring meeting, and make it real simple for the kids to log on.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions before we move on?
Can we go back? I already have my recording meetings, but I didn't set up the breakout rooms. Can I go back into the settings and edit them?
Yes, yes. So what you do is, like, again, here's that meeting, right? I didn't save it yet, but I'm going to go ahead. Well, I'm going to go ahead to one I've already saved. So let's say that you've saved the meeting, and it's going to look something like this because it's upcoming. If I click on that meeting, you'll see I give an option. I can either start it or I can edit it. When I click on edit, it takes me to that meeting. And then when I go down here and click on meeting options, you should have the option to create rooms import. Just don't forget, you have to save it. I made that mistake. I forgot to save it and it didn't have my rooms pre-assigned. So then you click on save and then your meeting is updated. Does that help, Anna Maria?
Yes.
Okay.
John.
I have a question. For mine, it says edit meeting, yes, but then it says edit the occurrences. This occurrence or all occurrences? We can put all occurrences, right?
Yes. Yeah. So if you have the only danger, well, for me, one time I had a meeting. The only thing about recurring meetings, if they're kind of wacky and they're not on the same day, like we had a training that had 3 sessions, but one was on a Friday, one was on a Tuesday, one was on a Wednesday. But we wanted it to have the same Zoom link, so I had to hit recurring meeting, but then I had to delete all the ones that were in between those days. So that's kind of a funky thing about Zoom, that if you do have a kind of a recurring meeting that's not the same time every day, you just have to go back and it'll say like all occurrences, like you said. And if I only wanted 2 of these, I'd have to go back and delete the other 5, which really isn't a big deal. They list them right here, you just delete them. And it's just one of those things that's kind of a pain in the butt. Otherwise, they'll all be on your calendar or what have you.
Okay, thank you.
So great questions, guys.
Does that apply as well, like to set up recurring? So would that mean you'd have to go in like for the week and see the weekend, because we don't have school Saturday and Sunday. So you'd have to go in and, okay.
Delete Saturday and Sunday. Yep. Great question, Bob, neighbor. Yeah, that's what we have to do. Otherwise, those Saturday and Sundays will show up. So I'm telling you what, I follow Zoom on Twitter. You would not believe how many people are tweeting suggestions to Zoom about how they can make their product better.
Right.
So, and Zoom is listening because some of the recent updates are, the next update, guys, I don't know if this may scare you a little bit, I don't know, but kids are going to be able to go by themselves from one breakout room to the next.
Oh, wow.
But that's going to be an option you can either click on or off. So if you don't want that to happen, you can click it off. If you want it to happen, you can click it on. I heard a question.
Yes, John, I was just playing around with my account right now, and it seems that we were in the same boat. I guess the problem with the breakout rooms that they're not seeing it is that they're not going through their settings. So when they go through the settings, they need first to select breakout room, and then they're going to have all the other options that you're showing us.
Okay.
I'm from Calexico, so
Magdalena, thank you so much. So that was my next step. So thank you. When you're in your Zoom account, this is probably the most important click you'll ever make is settings, because this will allow you to do things or have things going on that you either want to have or don't. You know, so for example, I'm just going to quickly go down waiting room. I turn the waiting room on because if I'm a teacher, I want my kids to go in the waiting room first, right? I can even customize the waiting room. I can put a picture in there. I can have music. It's really cool if you really want to take it that far, right? Require a passcode. So every time I schedule a new meeting, I get a new passcode, right? Just going to go to the ones that are important. I'm the only one that can videotape. Nobody else can. Right? I'm going to have you start with your video on, but you can change it off during the meeting. Join before host is off. Mute participants upon entry is on. So I have the chat on. And I have the private chat on. So right now you guys can chat with each other, but if I'm a teacher, I would probably have that sucker off because I don't want kids to be chatting each other, you know, during class. Co-host, so this is cool because I can make all of you guys a co-host if I want, right? I made a list of the co-host. Polling, this is a paid account. Sorry guys, this is for paid, but you can actually set up polls at a time that will flash up on the screen and kids can answer. Let's say you're doing a math problem and you can put like a math problem and 4 answers and it's multiple choice. It's a really cool formative assessment. However, that is unfortunately for a paid account. This is the one I was talking about. This is the game changer. I can show my Zoom windows during screen share. Right now, I'm the only one that can share, but I could click on all participants. Where this would be interesting is when you do send kids to breakout rooms and you want one kid to share their screen, you would have to click on all participants because then that student will be able to share their screen. Later on, I'm going to show you about annotation, how we can annotate and the whiteboard. These are really cool options. This one was instrumental because most of you guys know Jeanette Montano. She was in one of our meetings and we accidentally clicked her off the meeting and we had this off and she couldn't rejoin. She says we did it on purpose. We really didn't. But if you want kids to rejoin your meeting, if I wanted you to be able to rename yourselves. So breakout rooms, here it is. So yes, this breakout room has to be on in order for you to see that feature where you're editing the breakout rooms in your meeting. And I clicked on this because I want to be able to assign participants to breakout rooms when I'm scheduling. So not only does this have to be on, you have to click on this to allow you to pre-assign breakout rooms. And the rest are just kind of, if you want to be able to have a virtual background. And I think the rest is just kind of some high-end stuff that's really not a big deal. A lot of these stuff I just kind of ignore. So yeah, your settings, very important, because those settings are set for every meeting that you set. When you edit a meeting, you can change some of them, right? But the settings are very, very important to set up for every meeting that you guys set. So
Hi,
that was
John.
kind of a big one. I'm going to stop, see if there's any questions.
I have a question, John. I've been scheduling meetings, but I've never seen the co-host option. I don't know if I don't have updated the Zoom, or what is it? How is it a shortcut we can do for the co-host?
So you mean like making someone a co-host?
Yes.
Okay, so can you guys see my screen? I'm going to go down to participants. So another option is during the meeting. So when I click on participants, do you see all the participants here? Can I make that bigger? Okay, kind of, sort of.
Yes.
When I hover over your video, your camera, you see where it says more?
Mm-hmm.
When I click on more, look at all the options I have. I can send them a chat privately. This is one that is, I think, kind of, you know, there's been a lot of debate in districts about should the kids have their video on, should they have them off. This is kind of a soft way to ask kids to turn their video on. So if I did this to Diana right now and I clicked on that, she would see a little note that says, host is asking you to turn on your video. And you can either turn it on or you can say later.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of a soft way, rather than saying, come on, Robert, you need to have your video on. Again, a lot of power with the host. I can make Diana the host, I can make her the co-host. So when I click on that, you see this little window pop up. It just wants to make sure that I'm sure I want to make Diana co-host. And then Diana is now a co-host.
Okay. I'm gonna see if I see that option, because I work with special ed students and I have my assistants, but at times it's very distracting for me to see the students that are coming in late joining Zoom. So I like to have a co-host too. Hopefully they can also let them in from the wait room or check on the chat. So I'll make sure I have that co-host option.
Yeah.
How you taught us.
And just make sure in settings that it's on as well. Make sure in your settings that you have the co-host option on like this.
Yeah, I haven't seen it that way.
In my settings, and going with the same thing as Diana, on my settings, I'm looking for the co-host option and I don't see it. And I'm actually in the advanced as well.
So you are in
the advanced settings, I believe.
Do you see a window like this?
Yes.
And you click on settings?
Yes.
Okay, that should be universal. That should be for all accounts. And let me show you where it is. It is right in, no, it's in the basic.
Oh, in the basic? Okay.
Basic, yeah.
So in basic, okay.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead and go.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's chat. My fault. That's chat. Yeah, co-host is basic as well.
Okay, let me
It's
go
just
ahead.
a little bit further down in the basic piece.
Yeah, John, question.
Yes.
When you have the participants in the breakout rooms, can you as a host join any of those breakout rooms?
Yes, you may. So when I click on breakout rooms, you don't see it right now because I haven't opened the breakout rooms. But up here, instead of 3, it'll be a blue join. And when I click on that, it'll take me directly to breakout room 1. And guess what? The kids don't know I'm coming, right? I mean, it's not like, oh, the host is coming in the breakout room. Be prepared. You just pop in.
Okay, thank you, John.
And then I can pop out. No, actually, from that breakout room, I can go to another breakout room. So I can join any breakout room at any time that I want. right? I know there's been some talk about, well, I'm really worried about putting kids in the breakout rooms because I can't see them. Zoom is working on an option where you can, in another window, if you set up like 10 breakout rooms, you'll be able to see those 10 breakout rooms from the main room. That would be a game changer, I think, for teachers about putting kids in the breakout rooms. But you know what? I liken it, when I was a teacher, I taught for 20 years and I put kids in groups. I wasn't with every group at the same time, right? I was with one group at a time. Yes, I could see, right? So, I mean, it's kind of the same thing. But I think the one thing, even before you put kids in the breakout room, you have to establish the norms. You have to maybe develop a relationship with your kids so you know them and you know which ones would be good in breakout rooms and maybe which ones need to stay in the main room. And again, a lot of you guys have taught for a while. You know that, I'm sure. And there is some trepidation about putting kids in the breakout rooms. And we're not saying you have to do it, but we really think that it's a great way to get kids talking, collaborating, working together, rather than just like all 52 of you right now just kind of staring at me, right? So, but yes, that's a great question. You can join any breakout room that you want at any time as the host.
Hey, John.
Yes.
Someone's asking, so they have the option to mute students, but can they also unmute them?
So when you go to participants, so when I go to here, see where I can mute them? So right now I can mute Anna if I wanted. And the cool thing about this, when you click on participants, other than the co-host, the ones that are unmuted show up first. That way you don't have to be sorting through a whole bunch of kids. The ones that are unmuted show up first, and I could mute them. But I can also ask to unmute a student. So yes, I could. And if I wanted to mute all, see this option down here? Let's say you got a kid that joined and there's a lot of background noise, but you don't know who it is. You mute all, and then everyone's muted. But the individual student can unmute themselves if they want. It's not like they're muted forever. So again, these tools are pretty powerful as a host, right?
And John?
Yes.
When it comes to the chat box, if the students are in the breakout rooms, if they're putting stuff in the chat in the breakout rooms, will everyone see it?
No. So what happens when they go into breakout rooms is that room is the only people that'll see that chat. If I'm in the main room, I will not see that chat in the breakout room.
You can still get it recorded, right? The chat box?
You can, yeah. So the chat, you can automatically save the chat.
Even from the breakout rooms?
Even from the breakout room. So when you save chat, it saves every chat.
Okay.
And the only issue if you've ever done that before and looked at it, when you look at it, it's just you have to really clean it up. It's kind of a messy, like old ASCII file. And you just have to kind of clean it up. But they don't make it very user-friendly when you click on it after you saved it.
No, but it's nice to tell the kids, okay, yeah, I have it here. Look at what it is. Everything that you put on there is right here for me to show anybody I need to show.
You're right. And one thing, we had this question come up last time. If I send let's say, I'm just going to use two names. Let's say Alyssa and we send a private chat to each other during the training, and we go back and look at the saved chat. Will that chat show up? And the answer is yes, only because I'm the host. So if I'm the host and I send a private chat to somebody, that will show up. But if Maria and Maria send a private chat to each other, that will not show up on the saved chat. So all the more reason to turn that private chat button off when you have students, because you will not be able to see what they're chatting about.
Yeah.
So that's, we always had that question. but it was
Oh.
validated on the first session we had of this because we sent someone to a breakout room and they couldn't see the chat. And then when we saved the chat afterwards, we couldn't see private chats other than the ones the host sent. Okay.
John, real quick, one thing I wrote in the chat, I don't know if I was genius to me, but if when you do the reoccurring meeting, if you click on the drop box and put no fixed time, the meeting stays for as long as you want with no stop time. I don't know.
So that's a great, so here's the meeting. So if I click on, let's say I want to schedule a meeting. And what she was saying, if I click recurring meeting,
And the little drop box where it says daily, click on it and you put no fixed time, it just is there forever. It's pretty awesome.
that is. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
So basically that means for the next 1,000 days, you have a fixed meeting or however long that goes.
And you can change the passcode. I teach 6th grade, so I don't really have an issue, but like if you needed to change it because someone got a hold of it, you can change the passcode at any time. And
Yeah, great point.
here,
It'll keep the same passcode until you change it.
until you change it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, awesome. All right, I love it. We're all learning together. Absolutely great.
Hey,
So,
John.
yeah, question.
We had another question earlier. What is the maximum amount of breakout rooms allowed?
So on my account, it's 50. But I think in even the basic account, I think you can have up to, well, I'm not sure. I'll have to get back, but I think at least up to 10, if not 15 breakout rooms. It may even be 50. But I know that, for example, let's say, let's say we had 300 people, right? Oh, and the limitation is even if I had 300 people, I could only put 200 into breakout rooms. I don't know why Zoom set it up like that. But if you have a small group of kids, like 15, 30 kids, and you want 4 kids in a breakout room, that's 8, 9 breakout rooms. A basic account will give you that many breakout rooms to put kids in. Great question. So what I'd like to, yes, Maria, I saw your hand.
Okay, I know this is a little bit away from the breakout rooms, but it is Zoom related. So I have a student who is doodling on my shared screen. Is there a way for me to find that footprint?
To find who it is?
Yep.
No.
Oh,
But you can stop it.
how can I stop?
Okay, so when I click on, okay, well, I'll get to, I need another, Maria Garcia. Do you have you're on mute, Maria. You're on mute. Maria, I can't hear you. You're on mute.
Mr. Lazarczyk, there is an option that you can.
When you see that ruling or the
Yes.
lines coming up, they come with a name of the student
Okay.
speaking.
If
But
you have that option, yes.
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 No, that is a good point. I thought she meant you could trace it back, but she's right. When you doodle and you put a line for a split second, as long as that line's there, there's a name attached to it.
and you
So if
can
you're-
tell the student
Yeah.
the name, like Carlos, stop writing on my whiteboard. And they really stop it right away.
Yeah.
And I can erase
So
it. There's an eraser there.
So
Where does the name pop up?
as you're drawing it, the name kind of goes with the drawing. So if they're drawing a line, you can kind of see their
No,
name.
but you have to set it so that you see the annotators' names. When you go to the 3 little dots next to your options,
Yeah.
up at the top of the screen, right there, that's where it says allow annotating. You can block them, or you can be able to see the name. It says see names of annotators.
So yeah, so if you click on, when you're sharing your screen and you see this, can you guys see this up here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You see this these are some more Zoom controls, and you click on these 3. I'm going to disable annotation right now, and no one should be able to annotate, right? If that's an issue and kids are going crazy, so try to annotate, you probably won't be able to because I disabled it, right? And so I can enable it, but if I click on hide names, then right now, Maria, I would not see the names of the kids when they're doodling. But if I click on show names, then it'll show me who's doing it. So these 3 buttons up here give you some more options.
Okay.
And so when you click on Annotate, you'll see these tools pop up, right? So I can click on a stamp and I can place hearts all over the place. You guys can see that, right? So as a teacher, I can model for them. I can put in text right there, but I can also clear everything. When I click on the trash, I can clear all drawings. I can clear just mine, right? So again, I'm the host. I have quite a bit of power in what goes on, even when I'm sharing my screen. Great questions, guys. Great questions.
John,
And thanks for all your help. You guys are very, very knowledgeable. Another question.
we have someone saying that some kids don't see the annotations or the reactions button on their screen. Is that something that they need to fix on their end?
No, let me see. So you guys, do you guys all see this up here when I'm sharing my screen? Right? Do you see? So the kids are going to see this too. And they should have, if you've enabled, so again, going back to the settings, I had to enable annotation in my settings. And when I do, the kids should be able to see this annotate button and they should be able to annotate. But they have to look up on like the top of their screen where this is at in order to do that. But again, going back to the settings, oops, you have to enable the settings of this annotation to even occur. Otherwise, kids will not be able to do it. And this will not show up. This option will not show up. So another great question. So I'm going to clear that. Okay, wow. So I'm going to kind of move on a little bit. Hopefully you can see my presentation. So what I've done, everything I showed you, I use as a screenshot and I put it in here. Well, almost everything. And then you guys had some extra stuff that you asked about that is also in here. Okay. Talked about how we can pre-assign breakout rooms, either manually or with the CSV import. Okay. And then I save it, and then there's my breakout rooms. So a really cool feature is, let's say you put kids in the breakout rooms and there's a problem or there's an issue. When you're in breakout rooms, this little button down here, ask for help, is really key. Because once you click on ask for help, the host and only the host will get a pop-up window saying breakout room number 6 is asking for help. And then on your end, no. Yeah, so I'm sorry, what happens first is this window pops up. Are you sure you want to invite the host? You click on invite the host. Then it says the host has been invited and boom, the host shows up. So we were actually in a training and Anna was the host and and Jeanette didn't know about the help option, so she loved it. So she clicked on it and then here comes Anna. So that's a key feature. And the thing, one of the things about this is I'm going to minimize that, which is cool is you can be anywhere and get that help. So if you're already in another breakout room, let's say in breakout room 3 and breakout room 6 asking for help, we originally thought you had to be in the main room, but no, the host can be wherever he wants and will get that signal from kids that they need some help. So another really cool feature is that help button that, you know, it'd be nice to have kids know about. So I want to take some time. I know I've been talking a lot, sorry guys, and I want you to think about this question. Think back to some of the learning intentions was we want you to support students during breakout rooms. So how do all these features that we just talked about, help you support students during breakout rooms. You can put it in the chat if you'd like. You can unmute yourself. But I want you to think about everything we just kind of showed you and how would these help support your students during breakout rooms. I'll give you about a minute.
Someone saying they're able to provide assistance right away.
Most definitely. It's really easy to get into a breakout room.
And we have someone else saying that the breakout rooms are fun, gives them a voice, and then they can make friends and collaborate.
Absolutely love it. When my daughter's a senior in high school, and when they found out one of the teachers was using breakout rooms, that was like, I can't wait for our teacher to use that. It was that exciting for kids to go into breakout rooms. And yes, you can make it a fun experience for them.
We have someone saying smaller groups so they can work at their own pace.
Love it. Right?
And then, just the students feel more secure as well.
I know for me, when you put me in a room with 100 people, I'm probably not going to grab the mic and start speaking, but you put me in a smaller group of 3 or 4, I'd feel much more comfortable. I think a lot of kids feel the same way. Okay, thank you for those responses. I'm going to move on, maybe. Okay, so I'm going to skip this right now because I want to take you to, actually, I'm going to go back into my Zoom world here where I can see you guys. I'm going to put you guys in a breakout room right now. And what I'd like you to do is just discuss kind of what we talked about right now in your breakout rooms. Talk about how would you use breakout rooms during with your students. Think about how you would use it. Then when we come back, we'll debrief a little bit. Then I'm going to show you some of the ways that we've done it or showed other teachers how to do it in their classroom, where you guys know now with the SB, I can't remember, is it 82 or whatever? Now that we're distance learning, that there's this piece about attendance and engagement. And some of you may have seen those forms that you may have to fill out about that, which is I know it's very cumbersome. I'm going to show you a way that you can, when the kids are in breakout rooms, you can easily keep track of their engagement. So I'm going to send you in breakout rooms right now. And again, I just want you to, I'll give you 5 minutes to share with each other and talk about how would you use breakout rooms with your students. Okay? Here we go. I'm going to open all rooms. Okay, so room 11's asked for help. I'll be right back.
Hi.
Hi, Lupita.
I'm by myself.
Okay, so I'm going to, what room is this? 11?
11.
I'm going to reassign you to another room.
Okay. So why did, when it said leave room, I was gonna leave room thinking that I would go back to like the general room, but then the light, it came up, it said leave meeting.
No, because you don't have you should have the option to go to back to the main session.
And I was gonna press it and then the thing, I thought, oh, I better not, I don't wanna leave the meeting.
Yeah, oh, you know what I have to do? In order for me to move you, I have to leave the room and then move you. So let me leave the room and I'll move you to another room.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, no problem.
Talk to each other. And I know that's not academic, but that's really important to them too.
Yeah, I agree. And the smaller groups you feel more comfortable and stuff, yeah.
Yeah. And I just feel bad. I have, I think there's like 3 new students, so they don't know anyone. So I'm trying to figure out how to get them to start talking and getting to know their classmates as well.
John, you're muted.
Sorry. I think that is, someone said that that's the phrase of 2020. You are muted.
You're muted.
You're muted.
Oh, Cassandra said her mic isn't working, but yeah, she hasn't had experience with the breakout rooms yet either.
Hi, Cassandra.
Hopefully this is a good training.
So I actually closed the rooms and got everyone back.
I was by myself.
Who was?
Me.
Oh.
Me too.
Ms. Lopez, you were not the only one. Me too. But
Okay.
it locked me out. It locked me out from the room, and then I have to lock it back in. But I was by myself too.
Okay. And then I was asking, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try the help button. So I did the help button.
I did see that, and I was in another.
Okay. And I didn't want to leave because it says leave room. It says leave room. And
So when it, just so you know, when it says leave room, it takes you back to the main room.
Oh, okay.
And it says
So
leave meeting.
But yeah, not if you leave the meeting, then yeah. But if you have leave room is the option if you want to come back to the main session.
Yeah, but it wouldn't allow me to come back to the room. All it said was leave room. I click it, and then it said leave meeting to click next.
Okay, that's not good.
Didn't dare
Is
touch
this-
it. I'm gonna get
This
kicked
is a
out.
breakout room right here.
No, we're back in the main room.
Ah, okay.
Sorry, guys. So we're back in the main room. So a couple things. Let me share my screen again. And so again, here's the breakout room. So what happened is some people actually left the meeting, and then that's why some of you only had one in there. So sending help is, but if you can see right now, I could easily move people to different rooms, and that's the key. If you can look at all the rooms. Let's say you set breakout rooms and you send kids in there. With a smaller group, it's going to be a little bit easier, but let's say, oh, look, breakout room 7, Maria's the only one in there. I'm going to move her to a different room so she's with somebody. So if I'm a teacher, that's like the first things I would do is make sure that every kid is in their breakout room. They're with somebody. They're not alone.
And how do you get this white breakout rooms? How did you get it to pop up?
So so I'm the host, and you would be too if you're the teacher. I click on the breakout room icon down here. Can you guys see that?
Oh, okay.
Once I click on that,
Oh,
boom.
okay.
So remember what I said though? I can also recreate the room. Let's say I'm going to put you guys in another breakout room session. I'm not going to, but I wanted to kind of mix it up so you're not with the same people. I could recreate the breakout rooms again automatically. So we have about 4 to 5. And once I recreate rooms, now you're all in different breakout rooms. So a nice way to kind of mix it up, you know, if you want kids to kind of meet each other, they haven't seen each other, it's the first couple weeks of school, you can always recreate rooms. But you can also do it manually, right? I can recreate all rooms. So now what I have to do here is breakout room 1. Once I click on assign, I see everybody. And all I have to do is, let's say I want to click on just the first 4. Boom, they're assigned to breakout room 1. Now I want to assign people to breakout room 2. And I click the next 4. Right? So maybe you, at this point in the school, you may know your kids very well, and you may know that, you know what, Alma and Angelica don't get along, so I'm going to put them in separate breakout rooms. Right? So you can do that manually because you're not guaranteed that if you do it automatically.
John?
Yes.
Lisa Lopez asked a question. Lisa, I think you were asking about if students are on Seesaw, are they able to get into a breakout room and then return to Seesaw? And how difficult is the view for them?
So you're asking if you're on Seesaw to go to a Zoom meeting?
No, they're already on Zoom. And the teacher is doing Seesaw with them off of Google Slides. Am I right, Lisa?
Yes.
Okay.
say that they're in Seesaw, actually doing an activity, and I'm gonna say, okay, you're on this activity, and I want you to work with a group while you're doing the activity. So then can I still send them into the breakout rooms so that they can use that activity, or is that not possible?
So as long as, yes, that's possible. As long as you give, we see when I click on share screen right down here, you see that, the little arrow cut. If I click on advanced sharing option, as long as I give those kids, if you want them to share their screen so they can all work on it, then you would have to click on all participants so that they can work on that. If they want to visually see it on the screen, they can still do it on their own, but nobody will be able to see it. You know what I'm saying? So if it's a shared document, they can still work on it, but no one will be able to see it. But if you click on all participants can share, then one kid, maybe that's the kid who's the leader of that group, he can share his screen and then they can all see it together. Yes.
I can actually answer that to that one because my students did it. Of course, I'm in 6th grade and Lisa is in 3rd grade. What my students did, they open a separate screen, it's a split screen, and that way they can have the Zoom meeting and they can also have the Seesaw. And whenever they're in the break room, I ask one of the students, whoever they want to be the monitor to share the screen. So everybody can see what they're doing.
Absolutely love it.
Hi, Miss Elise. I'm wondering what device are the students using?
They're using at the beginning, and that's what I was sharing. At the beginning, they were using all type of devices, a lot. But this is our 2nd week, and the majority of them are using Chromebooks and computers.
Oh, yeah, because I have my students using iPads and
No, it doesn't work.
to use them.
With my students, they were using, at the beginning, they were using iPads and they were using cell phones. And I talked to our tech and she said, no, to be able to do things like that, you actually need a computer or a Chromebook.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Magdalena. I really appreciate that. Yeah, there are so many limitations with a cell phone and
an iPad.
And so again, if I'm giving feedback to Zoom, that'd be part of my feedback, right? Because most kids have a cell phone and they could join so much easier, or an iPad, whereas not everybody has a Chromebook. And even though the school may provide one, right? Maybe not, you know, there's issues there with connectivity and all that. But anyways, thank you guys so much. So I wanted to share with you one thing that I think is really cool that you might be able to use in breakout rooms. And that is this right here. This is a link. When I click on this link, it takes me to another tab that says breakout room work, right? So let's say I'm sending kids, let's say I have, for some reason, I have 14 rooms, I got a lot of kids, right? And all they have to do is before they go into breakout rooms, one person has to click on this link, right? So maybe it's the bit.ly that you shared in the presentation, or you can put this link in the chat real simply by copying this and putting it in the chat. And you have one kid from each group click on this link, so they have access to this breakout room assignment Google Slides right here. And then once they're in that breakout room, you have the directions right here. I have my group roles and jobs right here, so everybody can see them. And I know I'm in breakout room 3, so I'm going to click on breakout room 3. And room 3 has slide 6. Here's my personal space that I'm working on to do the assignment. The really cool thing is you'll have access to this, right? So you're a teacher, you're looking at this right now because you have your tab open, and you'll literally see where I can see there's somebody in slide 5. But what's really cool, when I come down here and click on this waffle, boom, it shows me everyone, and I can track the progress of every group while they're in breakout rooms. So what we did this with a school district, and we were tracking it. And the first 5 minutes, I'm just going to use an example. Group 4 had nothing written on their slides. So Anna was the host. She hopped in to breakout room 4 to see what was going on. And she came back and said, oh, they were having trouble sharing their screen. So she taught them how to share their screen. But this is a great way. No, right now you can't be in every room, but you can see what's going on in every room or what's not going on in every room. And I see nothing's going on in room 4. So guess what? I'm going to, again, when I open rooms, this turns to join. I'm going to join room 4 and see what's going on. So it's just kind of a way to keep the your finger on the pulse, right? But also giving them an opportunity to engage in the 4 C's in a breakout session.
John,
Yes.
I have a question. So you created a Google Slides, and then in there you put a link so that it would take them to the slide that had their number?
Yep.
Is that okay? And then they all in that group enter together the information into that slide.
Yes.
Okay.
So here's the main deck of slides, right? This is the presentation. I know I'm going to send them to breakout rooms, so maybe they'll all click on it, depending on how you want it, or maybe it's just one kid. But they click on this before they go into breakout rooms. Because once you send them to breakout rooms, then they can't see your screen. And then I know I'm in room 8, so my group is clicking on room 8. I've got slide 11. It takes me right to slide 11. And I can start inputting, I can start doing the assignment. And the cool thing is, oh, you know what? I forgot what we're supposed to do. Well, it's up here on slide 2. Here are the directions. Oh man, we got to have 4 people. So who wants to be the motivator? Who wants to be the tech sensei? Who wants to be the keeper of the time?
So, and then once they're in the room, in the breakout room, then one kid shares that Google Slides?
Yes.
That screen? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, or they can work on it together, because they can, even if they don't share it, they'll still be able to see each other's work. You know what I'm saying? They can share the screen, or they can just kind of work on it, because again, they'll be able to see. If I'm with Alyssa, you guys all seen this, right? I can see Alyssa's cursor right here as she's typing, and maybe I'm over here. So it just really depends on how you want to do that. But yeah, so this is, and I've seen this now a lot on Twitter, and teachers are starting to do this, and they absolutely love it, because again, it gives, I can't be in every room, but I can track progress in every room. And then I can join that room, and they just may need me to kind of clarify a few things. So I really wanted to show this with you, and it's really, really easy to set up, right? If you know anything about slides, this link right here is to another slide deck. And then when I open it, it takes me to this tab. The thing we got to make sure is these share properties, right? If I'm going to let kids be editors, I got to make sure that anyone on the internet with this link can edit. Our default is the Imperial County Office of Education. That's our default. So I have to go in there and change that. Anyone with the link can either be a viewer, a commenter, or an editor, and they have to be an editor. And then I copy that link, and that link was what I used to put here so that they go to this breakout room deck of slides. So just another cool way of, and another one, someone shared this with me as well. If you do want to be in a breakout room, if you want to be in 2 places at once, join your own Zoom call with your phone, right? Or maybe another device, maybe, no, not your phone, because maybe another device, and you can literally join a breakout room with that device while you're watching everybody else on another device. So if you happen to have 2 devices, you can kind of be in 2 places at once, right? Kind of a little cheat code, if you will. And that'll really throw the kids off. Man, she's in breakout room 4 and in the main room. How is she doing that? So anyways, so let me see. Oh, I just wanted to share with you. Yeah. So when you look at the screen, this is what you'll see, right? And I want to show you a real live version. So this was working with a school district. We used Google Drawings instead of a Google slide. We put them in breakout rooms. And this was the room that within 5 minutes, they had nothing. So this is the room Anna went to, right? Other groups were starting to work on theirs. We could see some progress. And then, so as we kind of wrap up today, I want you to kind of look at this question. And again, you can unmute or put it in the chat. How do you see using Zoom breakout rooms with your students during synchronous instruction? So I'll give you a minute or two to, again, either unmute yourself, put it in the chat. How do you guys see yourself using Zoom breakout rooms? And Alyssa, yes, question. Did someone have an answer? Okay.
John, someone had a question.
Okay.
Can you clarify? So if when you're not in the Zoom breakout room, is there a way to be in 2 separate Zooms at once?
If you have 2 computers, right, you can join and you can join your Zoom. You can join your Zoom meeting. And then from one, if you're just a participant, and if you're not the host, so if you set it up where you're the host in one, but you're not the host in the other, actually, you know what? That will not work. Just thinking out loud, because only the host can go into the breakout rooms.
Yeah, but you can send yourself into that other room because you can move yourself to another room. Remember how you can move people from group to group?
Oh yeah, so if I'm the host.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, if I'm the host, and I'm John Lazarczyk, but I'm also in breakout room 2, there you go. I can move myself into different breakout rooms.
Yeah, but you have to use a different Google account.
Zoom account.
So you'll probably have to use the John Lazarczyk at Gmail, and then the John Lazarczyk, the master at Gmail, and then you can use 2 computers, and then you can do that if you want to get creative.
No, thank you, Robert. Yeah, you cannot use the same account. So I would have to, so right now my account's through ICOE. I'd have to set up my own personal account on Zoom, and then I could do it. Yes.
I tried it. I put my, I logged in with my personal account and my phone while I was teaching. My issue was my microphone, I guess my speaker, where they were too close to each other or something, but because I was hearing a beep sound.
Yeah.
There was a beeping sound, just like when you're singing, you know, when you're doing karaoke and you put the microphone too close to the speaker. So I still have to figure out how not to get that.
Yep.
Yeah. Which you may have just put them a little further apart, but you're right.
Yeah.
So my question, I'm the one that asked the question. Hi. So if you're a participant in a regular Zoom, not a breakout session, just a regular Zoom, is there a way that you can be in 2 or 3 separate Zoom sessions as a participant?
Not with one account, no. With that account, you can only join 1 Zoom at a time. Yeah. If you want to go to
multitasking, multitasker right there, John.
All right.
Yes, I am. Big time.
I
get invited to a lot of meetings at the same time. So it's like I have to like leave one, go back 5 minutes, you know. I think a lot of administrators are in that situation right now. So I'm just trying to make it work.
Yeah, definitely can empathize. You know, again, I think when Zoom, I did some history work on Zoom, and they had no clue that this would eventually be how Zoom works, right? It was for corporate board meeting. It was for, they did not even think of how this might work for teachers. So they are literally scrambling, and they have engineers working on ways that this could work better. So we just need to give them feedback, follow them on Twitter. They respond to people that give them feedback. So maybe we can force them to make some changes that would be beneficial to us. Like, hey, can I join? I want to join 5 Zooms at once. Can I make that happen, right? So,
well, I'm glad I asked the question. It's like one of those questions that everyone's embarrassed to ask, but thank you for.
no, you are, Judy, you're in a safe space here, right?
Yeah, right. Okay, thank you.
So, guys, if you have so I just want to show you one more thing. We got a little bit of time. This is kind of fun. Can you guys see my, oh, nope, okay. I gotta stop share. I wanted to share, so if you're a math teacher, or actually any kind of teacher, do you guys see this whiteboard right here?
Yes.
So that is another option when you share. You can go to this whiteboard. And I think if I enable annotation, you guys can now start writing on this and drawing. And let's say you're a math teacher and you go 6 plus 2 equals, there you go. See, and you can see the name there, Eric Rodriguez. Did you guys see that? There's Catherine. So you see that their name pops up as they trail on their writing. So I do have that enabled, right? The names are going to show up. So this is a cool way to just have kids, yeah, there's a text. Thank you for the training. You're welcome. Thank you so much. You can erase what you did, as a teacher. And let's just say right now, you're the only one that wants to share the board. So you can go, you know what? I'm going to disable it for others. Right now, it's just me. And maybe you throw the problem up there and then you enable it, and then kids can start working out the answer. So another cool way of kind of engaging kids. So Jeanette, I was unable to annotate.
Yeah, I can't annotate either. I can't do it either.
So I think if you go back to that settings, right, you have to click on annotate. So
From some iPads, some students cannot do it.
for your iPad,
Yes, iPad, sometimes it doesn't let them.
yeah, again, the iPads are wonky. The iPads and phones are wonky with Zoom. So the best solution is like a laptop or a Chromebook.
Mhm.
And I know sometimes it's not, not always feasible. So I am going to go ahead and clear all drawings, get out of there, and I'm going to stop screen share. And guys, I really want to honor your time. It is 5 o'clock. And, as we'll hang out for a while. If you guys have any other questions, that's the way we are. If you, but I'm going to leave you with a challenge, and that is just try a breakout room. Maybe throw them in there to do something really low level, work on a little math problem or talk about this and have them come back and share, and just try, little baby steps. Go into your settings, kind of mess with, can I prearrange my breakout rooms for kids, and kind of just try some of the stuff we talked about today. And it's just like anything in teaching, the more you do it, the better, the more comfortable you feel. Kids will be very happy that they're in breakout rooms. I know those could be some issues, but like I said, I think if you establish norms and make relationships and know your kids, you'll probably feel comfortable about putting them in the breakout rooms. So thank you guys so much. You are free to leave. Again, me and Alyssa and I will hang out for a while. And if you guys have any questions or comments, thank you all.
You keep getting better, John. You keep getting better. Thank you.
Robert, you're the man. Thank you so much. You're awesome.